Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project. In this episode we're going to be using two fantastic products from Spellbinders. I find them very versatile and I use them on so many projects, but I wanted to make a project today that's very different and it shows you just how versatile they can be. So the first item is the foundation tags, a set of 6 dies that you can make fantastic sentiments using. You know, the base layer for your sentiments after you've stamped it, and it builds up into 2 layers, and there's 3 different shapes. Very worth having in your stash of those. And then my favourite stamp set, the special birthday stamps. Yours will look a little bit straight when you get them, but mine have been well loved and well used. So they're all higgledy-piggledy in the set. So they have a fantastic font. They're a really good clear stamped image. And I know we've used them in many of our projects. And they're great for the insides as well as the out. So those are the 2 Spellbinders items that we're using. So we're not going to use a heap of things. However, everything I do use I shall put on my blog. If you've ever got any questions, please ask me on my blog or on Facebook. I can't reply on YouTube. I know I've said this many a time, but we're always getting new viewers, and I'm always getting older viewers that have just tuned in again. Maybe they've missed a month or so. But I have a problem with my YouTube account. It's something in their coding. My replies to you end up being deleted. Your comments don't, but I just can't reply. So if you've ever got any questions, it's Facebook or YouTube. And I want to thank you for all your messages. I know you're all enjoying the projects, and that's brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm just glad that you enjoy what I do, because I love doing it and showing you what you can do with your products and getting more out of them. So this is our base card. It's a 6x6 inch card and it's a white base card. And the first thing we're going to do is the inside of our card. In fact, I know you're all shouting at the screen, aren't you, saying, oh, you haven't used your bone folder. I will use my bone folder to create a nice score along the edge. So, if for any new viewers, a bone folder is a tool that you get to help you make nice straight scores and keep your folds neat on your cards. And then if you're ever creating 3D projects, anything like that, and creating boxes, it helps for the folds to just get that nice sharp crease. So the first thing we're going to do after bone folding, I'm glad you all noticed and you were shouting at the screen because I heard you then, you see. So the inside of our card, now this is a really simple inside and really effective. Using our foundation tag dies, I've cut out 2 of the square ones. Now this is the shape we're going to use today. I'm going to call it a square even though it's got the fancy edges. It's just so that we know what we're talking about. So every time I say square, it's this shape. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of white card, and it's slightly different tone, but it is white. I'm not always hung up about making sure I use the same shade, but that's quite a good example. It looks very grey, does this one, but I don't think it's going to matter with this card. So I think we'll just keep going and we'll not worry about the difference. So I've taken some watercolour, because we're going to use watercolour pens in this episode. I've taken a watercolour pen and I've just brushed it around the edge, and then I've used an empty watercolour brush and just watered it down a little bit so it's a pale, well, it's actually lemon, so it's a pale lemon edge, just to give the edge of our insert something a little bit different. So it's just showing that you can use your watercolours with your inserts as well. You don't have to just keep them for the outsides. So we'll just take our double-sided tape off, and there we go. And then I can add that to the inside of our card. Trying to get it nicely lined up. There we go. So you can see we've got the two kind of like apertures in the centre. So I've literally cut out two of the squares, the bigger one and the smaller one, and then using the special birthday stamps, I've stamped for the insert sentiment, sending you oodles of love and birthday wishes. And then I've also stamped one of the cakes. Using my water brushes, I've coloured it in by simply drawing lines on the card and then using my water brush. Now I should say this is actually watercolour card that I've used. It's not plain white card. I will put a link of where you can get this from, because you get, I think it's something like 15 sheets for about £4. There we go, that's my northern accent. So for about £4 or £5, I think you get, I'm sure it's 15 sheets. Shop around, I'll put a link on to show you what the product is. Viewers across the pond, I don't know if the website that I put the link on have worldwide orders, but it will show you the product and then you can look round for it. But it's watercolour card, A4 in size, and brilliant, very versatile, great with your stamping and adding any colour. Now, so then I'm just going to slot those into the hole, and that's just a little bit short there. Not to worry, I will just peel it off, and I was in so much of a rush to put it in that I just misjudged it. There we go, that's a bit better. Naughty Anne-Marie. In such a hurry to show you the card. So that's our first aperture in the hole that we cut. So the second one, we can pop that in as well, and that's the cake. And this again was from the special birthday sentiments, and I've just used a watercolour brush to colour that in. So that's the insert of our card finished. Now we can turn our attention to the outside, and the first layer that I'm going to add is just a basic black layer. So I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and I'm just going to position it through the centre of our card. Next, I've created a watercolour layer, and in fact I've created two. And I wanted to show you the difference, because I've just mentioned watercolour card and the difference that it is basically with using your watercolours on. This is just normal, everyday A4 white cardstock. And all I've done is drawn with my watercolour brush pens lines, just a normal line straight across. And then I've gone in with my watercolour brush, as it were, with the water, and then I've just simply gone across it to make the lines more blurry and run into each other. So you can see the effect it gives you on normal white cardstock. And then to show you the difference, I've done exactly the same thing on watercolour card. Now, I prefer the watercolour card because it looks as though it's toning in with each other, and it's just kind of, I don't know, it's a smoother finish. Now, there's nothing bad about this one. This one would still look great, but the watercolour one just looks a little bit more finished, as it were. So we're going to use that on our project. So I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and I'm just going to pop it so it's quite stiff is the watercolour card. It's, you know, once it's dry. So, and I'm just going to add this on the top of our black layer. She trying to get it nice and straight. Not to worry. We'll try again. And there we go. I think that could be a bit better. There we go. Now you see how the black makes that jump out. Looks quite good already. I could just sign that and be done with it. But no, what we're going to do next is I've cut out lots of the squares that are in watercolour card, and I've run them through my Xyron machine, and I just want to show you how to take them off, because you get the 2 layers on the Xyron. You get the protective top layer and the underneath where the adhesive is. So normally I've started this off before we film, but I just wanted to show you that I'm just like you. I have to peel the top layer off, get all sticky, and I've run my bone fold around the edge of all of these, so they should be all nice and clear from adhesive. And what I'm going to do is I'm just simply going to take these off the sheet, and I want to position them in a row across the card like so. They're going to just slightly go over the edge, so that's fine, because the background is just for being a background. It's exactly that. It gives us a hint of colour, and there we go. So we've got our first 3 on. Next, because they're all different colours, I'm going to go with pink there, I think, and then I'm going to go with blue in the middle. I'm just going to lay these on so that I can alter them just in case I need. I think they're nearly about right, really, the space. So you can see how I haven't got 2 colours touching next to each other. They're all different. And let's just do that, and then I can press them all down. So I think they're kind of like spaced out okay now. There. Get them nice and straight if I can. So, and then you can think, oh, do I want that colour there, or do I want to swap it? Shall I swap that one for that one? Because I don't want them to look as though I've just plopped them on and not thought about it. So that's... Now we can start straightening them up, and at this point, because you've used your Xyron, until you press it down firmly, you've got that bit of wiggle room. Now I know that I could be here for weeks trying to straighten them up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now have to think, that's straight, leave it at that. So next I've stamped one of the stamps onto another of the squares, and this is on 3D foam, and I'm going to pop that in the empty square that's there, like so. Then I've cut out lots of the small squares. There's 8 of these, and they're all different colours. I've got 3D foam on the back of them, and some of them I've stamped the balloons and the cake and coloured them in, and literally had fun with them, just decorating them. Pop that one there, I think, and just enjoyed myself. It took me quite a long time to prep for this one because obviously there's quite a lot of colour in it, and it just, I just relaxed so much. So now we're going to start swapping these round because I don't want two blue ones next to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the balloons and pop the balloons in that one and pop the blue one there. In fact, we'll take the cake. No, we'll do it that way. That's fine. And that is our card. No, I'm going to... You see, this is where the swapping and changing starts coming in. So I'm thinking that cake or that balloon will go there. And then I'll start swapping everything else. No, happy with that. Yeah. And at home you'll be able to sit there and swap and change and work it out where you want, whatever. But I think that is a funky card. That's funky, F-U-N-K-Y. My accent, eh? It's a cool card and it's very different, and you will have fun doing that card. Stands up nicely, nice and bright, and great for teenagers. So I do hope you've enjoyed watching. If you have, please, comment. I can't reply on YouTube, but I can on my blog. Feel free to click like, feel free to share any of my videos. We want to reach as many crafters as we possibly can. I know this one's been quite a long one, but I still hope you've enjoyed it. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.